to enforce its own laws, then they need to get off the backs of the states, like South Carolina. In fact, they need to get off the backs of the states with respect to our voter ID law. They need to get off the backs of the states with the National Labor Relations Board needs to allow corporations to locate where they wish to. The federal government has overstepped the 10th Amendment at every opportunity.
I think they're definitely a hindrance. When you look at the way the federal government's set up, the federal government's set up to take care of the American citizens. When you have illegal immigrants coming into our country, taking our jobs, taking our money, taking what we have worked so hard for, all you're doing is hurting the American people, and you're destroying our economy, and you're destroying our system that was put in place, and it was a good system when it worked, but we don't let it work anymore. I spoke with a lady from Homeland Security from Alabama the other day, and talking with her, if we go to the industries, to the facilities that actually hire these illegal immigrants, and we start finding those facilities, finding those industries, they're going to quit hiring illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants are not going to come here if they can't make the money and send it back home. Our American people can start working again. So I think a lot of these agreements that have come up are a hindrance to the American people and to our economy.
North American Free Trade Agreement is great if you're an international business. If you're a local business or just a business that's stationed in the U.S. with no multinational ties, it's not good for you. It raises your costs. It raises your competition. You see where your competition goes offshore and then ships in cheaper goods. So for the businesses of the country, it's not good. For illegal immigration, we could have someone at each foot of our border with a gun to stop it. What we need to do is enforce the laws we already have on immigration. If you're here in the country illegally, you go back. No ifs, ands, or buts. You have to be in this country legally. Thank you.
Mr. Whittington.
I was staring at that question and I don't like it. Do you see multinational agreements such as NAFTA as a benefit or a hindrance to businesses? As Jim explained, for large multinational corporations, it's fine. The small, not so much. But how about the working person that has to be subject to this unfair competition? This was a bill that was written by the lobbyists, by big corporate money, and forced through Congress, and that's why it's a bad act. And that's also why they haven't been able to fix it, because big corporations in America don't want to fix it.
Ms. Jenrette.
It's really simple. Thick, really deep, very tall electric fence with a soldier on both sides, north and south. This is the United States of America. If we didn't want illegal aliens here, we wouldn't have them here. We need to shut down the anchor baby law. That if you're born here, it doesn't make you an absolute citizen. That's a hindrance for us sending people home. We need to give local control to our school boards again and shut down the Department of Education so that our local school boards don't enroll illegal aliens' children. The bottom line is you get in line like everybody else. When I worked in the congressman's office, we had a lot of people come the right way who spent years and thousands of dollars for attorneys to become legal, legitimate citizens. That's the message we have to send. No more free guys. You know, we have to send the message, and the only way to do it is to impose these sanctions on these guys. Thank you.
Mr. Jordan.
It was a decent idea that failed, to be honest with you. The immigration problem, I don't think anyone at this table or out there would agree there's a major problem in our country, and that NAFTA did nothing to help with that problem. I would say we as a country reward illegal immigration to some extent when you're given benefits. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go back and enforce the laws that are on the close to the border and to stop offering benefits to the folks that aren't actually citizens. When it comes to arrangements our government makes with other countries, I'm always a little suspicious because I'm not really convinced that our government does much good when it comes to negotiating on our behalf when it comes to business. Government tends to do a better job of getting in the way of business than it does of helping business. The other side of that is when we tend to make deals with other countries, they tend to not want to live up to the agreements, and we have no way to make them live up to it, so we end up losing jobs overseas because we can't, because our laws are making us uncompetitive in many ways. So I think it's effective.
Mr. Prosser.
The focus of trade agreements, whether you're talking bilateral or multilateral, should be access for U.S. manufacturers and U.S. goods to foreign markets. If you look at what happened with NAFTA, we did lose U.S. manufacturing to the maquiladoras of Mexico. They're mostly all closed now. That business has gone to China, and now it's leaving China and going to India. That's part of the global economy. So if we're going to protect ourselves and protect American jobs and American manufacturing, which can be competitive, we have to have access, fair access to foreign markets in order to get our goods sold in China, in India, in Mexico. That's what we have to focus on when you talk about trade agreements.
Mr. Wallace, 1 minute.
Fair trade, free trade needs to be fair trade. And if NAFTA is supposed to have stopped illegal immigration, folks, it has failed. If we're going to do something about illegal immigration, well, first we need to, I think, secure the border, and we need to do that fairly quickly. Then we need to, e-verify, and let's hold the employers accountable, because they're not going to want to come here if there's no place to work. That's what's bringing them here. And then we need to give ICE the tools they need to go after and send the folks home. That hadn't happened. But one of the other things that I think we need to do is, look at Mexico. Mexico is a democracy in name only. They're a one-party rule, feudal system. The richest man in the world is a Mexican named Carlos Salinas. If he's not the richest, he's one of them. And the reason is these folks have no idea. They're still basically living in a feudal system. We need to do whatever we can to teach these folks entrepreneurial ideas so that they can lift themselves out of poverty and they'll stay home. So that's one thing that we can do. And the other thing, is like I say, make sure that border is secure. And as far as these trade agreements, they need to be fair. They need to be free trade, but they need to be fair trade.
Mr. Bauer.
NAFTA may have had wonderful intentions, but it's been about as successful as giving away the Panama Canal. Absolutely torn our country down. The fact that we now let illegal children just walk into a school. I was in a school last week, and they said they don't even ask for anything now, except to make sure they've had their shots. That's the only thing they ask for school right here in Myrtle Beach. Our tax dollars are paying for this. It's absolutely ludicrous. I had somebody call me just this week that owns a plumbing company, and they said, Andre, go look on this website, XYZ Plumbing, they named it. I did. They said, that's my competitor. They don't pay taxes. They don't have a business license. They're all illegals, and I'm having to compete with them, and I'm losing job after job because they can outbid me. They can underbid me because of the fact that they don't pay any of the bills I pay. And that's the unlevel system we have now. And as far as having free trade agreements, if we're going to have free trade agreements, we want to make sure that the products that American citizens get are safe. And when you look at products we've gotten in places like China, how about the sheetrock incident? How much is that now costing our taxpayers?
Thank you very much. The next question